Ladies and gentlemen, in the wise words of former British songstress Mari Wilson,
well, you can cry me a river.
Yeah, shed those crocodile tears, virtue signalers everywhere, because every time I go on YouTube or browse the internet, yeah, we still use that phrase in 2024, I keep coming across more garbage articles like this.
Let's push the button marked idiot and see what comes out. This is an internal call.
Her voice may be almost as important to gamers as Lara's double pistols, curves and skimpy shorts.
Kung Fu Hot Dog
is a Kung Fu renegade cop. Now he must defeat the most evil Kung Fu master in the world.
For a modern gaming audience.
For a new world of unspeakable adventures.
I said, Mummy, I like the way the lady runs.
Get ready for a new world of unspeakable adventures, never before shown in a motion picture. Get ready for
Kung Fu Hot Dog.
Groovy.
IGN used to be such a great website. I've said this before actually, the Daily Fix with Naomi Kyle, Alana Pierce and Jessica Chobot, and okay then, yeah, Greg Miller as well, I suppose. He was less irritating back then. So Tales of Kenzera, I talked about this game a few weeks ago in one of my videos, and the creative director Abubakar Salim issued a statement, and this is yesterday of course, addressing the constant targeted harassment both he and his studio have faced since the release of the game. Because apparently, folks, shock horror, if you put a black character, whether they're male or female, in your video game which you created yourself, apparently that is a cause for backlash. And listen, I've got to quote it again, but Lincoln Clay, Mafia 3, when that video game came out from Hangar 13 Studios, did anybody complain about him? No, I didn't hear not one little cry of, oh, why have we got a black character in a Mafia game? Everybody liked it. I think it's a good game. I've not fully completed it because some of the shooting mechanics and the cover mechanics are a bit all over the place, but maybe it's just the way I approach it. I don't know. So we're going to get into this article, folks. And of course, when IGN talk about this, I mean, what proof, what receipts are they going in with? So it's all Crimea River. He's made a video, apparently, Mr. Salim, or should I say Mrs. Salim. So again, what does IGN do right here? They have to post their review, and I'm assuming they gave it about an 8 out of 10. Let's have a quick look. Not, like I said, not my kind of game actually. I'm not interested in playing it. I don't know why people think you have to be all that enthused. People don't want it on video gaming. Oh, they gave it a 7 out of 10, and I think from what people say, that's actually a more than average score from IGN, but they've given AAA games a 7 out of 10 as well, even though the reviewer has lambasted it in their actual overall article. Yes, if Stellar Blade were remade by Sweet Baby Inc., if they got their filthy hands on that IP, this is what it will become. Yuck. Now, isn't it funny that Japan and South Korea seem to have this adulation for white women, and they like to encapsulate that in their video games? And I did do a reaction, didn't I, to State of Play, where I said in Monster Hunter Wild World, or Wild Hunt, that this blonde female character right here looked amazing. And of course, my love, Fiona from Vindictus Defying Boobs, just looks incredible. I mean, that is the best design I've seen since Jill Valentine. And I've got to say, they have borrowed some traits of what Jill looks like and put it in her game. And I absolutely love that, man. So that's fantastic. But let's just go back to... So here's Abubakar Salim and a much needed message which goes on for 5 minutes, folks. Be warned, this could be absolutely cringe. Before I watch what Mr. Salim actually has to say, and he's an actor known for Assassin's Creed Origins, Max's Raised by Wolves, and season 2 of HBO's House of the Dragon, which I won't watch, to be honest, because again it panders to ESG and DEI nonsense. Like when you see certain characters in that show who should obviously be Caucasian and they're suddenly being replaced now by a person of color, it takes me out of the experience, so I can't watch it. But you know what I mean? You get an outside person who comes in to be part of that royal court, and it doesn't really make sense to me in that respect, so that's why I've kind of bowed out of it. But get ready for cringe, folks. I don't know what I'm going to see here, but and of course his handle is Absy Babies, so I do wonder. But I've got a theory about this. Let's have a play.
So I didn't want to address this, but
you didn't want to address it, but you know what? You can't help yourself, can you, Abubakar? You just still have to go out there and just tell everybody how disappointed you feel.
Yeah, now. Look, since the beginning of my career, there's always been someone who's made me feel like I didn't deserve the opportunity I got. From Assassin's Creed to Raised by Wolves, I've had to ignore people saying that it wasn't the work that got me the opportunities. No, it was
the color of his skin. I'm just reacting to this blindly, folks, and I'm sorry to actually interrupt this here, but honestly, I've heard this rhetoric too many times now. And the thing is, Mrs. Salim here doesn't actually have receipts. How about you show us actual receipts? People have sent you these disappointing messages of hate. Let's have a look at that, please.
Simply because I'm black.
Because you're black?
Simply because I'm black.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
And look, I've turned the other cheek and just kept doing my thing.
Would that be your butt cheek, Mrs. Salim? Because nobody really wants to see those, but thanks anyway for clarifying that.
Even when people were saying, oh, the only reason why he's been cast as father in Raised by Wolves is because the character's a service model. And like some of these comments, a few of them you can just brush off. But when it's a constant barrage of them, it's exhausting. So when I look at Zau, it's reached this fever pitch. And look, don't get me wrong, right? There has been so much amazing and beautiful support for this game.
Whenever anybody says, don't get me wrong, it's what they're saying is, listen, you got to see my point of view of things, okay? But don't get me wrong, okay? I'm not actually accusing you of throwing hatred my way. I'm just trying to let you know that we've got this beautiful product here. But look, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong.
Like, the fact that it has inspired so many people and touched, so many lives. It was one of our goals from the outset to have this positive impact.
Touched many lives.
But at the same time, we are being faced with constant, targeted harassment from people who see diversity as a threat. From people who look across the vast landscape of modern media and decide that anything that doesn't speak to them or centers around them is unnecessary and inauthentic.
Listen, dude, you can have characters of diversity. I've never ever had a problem with that. I've stated that many times on my channel. A lot of video games like Binary Domain, where you have a Delroy Lindo character, which is an hilarious video game, by the way, from Sega. Great game. Nobody ever talks about that.
Even if I don't kill you, someone else will. You'll have Rust Cruise on your ass for the rest of your life.
Probably.
I'll tell them you went missing in action. You've got 2 hours till I file my report.
Thank you, Charlie.
All the diverse characters in the Assassin's Creed series, Ezio Auditore, a very based character. You can't have him again, can you? Jacob from Mass Effect 2 and 3, great character, but this fool here is like, oh, every time they release a game that has a color character, you hate it. No, we don't. But the fact is, you've got mainstream media who like to virtue signal those to the point where ESG and DEI must matter.
And look, And there's always a reason why diverse stories can't exist. You know, it's always we're doing it the wrong way, or it's just there to tick boxes.
It is.
And it's just beginning to feel like, you know, there is no right way. You know, these exclusionary rules just continue to stack up, and the goalposts continue to shift until, you know, me, my studio, people who look like us, just sit down, be quiet, and just accept the fact that you're outsiders.
Do you know how you actually sell your product? Just make the goddamn thing, put it out there, market it as best as you can, and then see what the feedback is. But the problem is, even before this game was released, it was being accused of doing this and doing that, which it was, because at the end of the day, once ESG and DEI and these consultancy companies are all out there trying to push this game to be in the public space, and no one is stopping a game of diversity from being successful. But the problem is, why they become insufferable afterwards is individuals like Mrs. Salim here who just get on the throne, or in his case, his Game of Thrones, or his Throne of Games, and starts going, it's because we're this, you don't like us. It's just a newfound form of bigotry coming from a side you wouldn't think would illustrate or exercise that kind of behavior.
But I won't do that.
But you just did.
So look, if there are people who...
Don't forget, this guy's an actor, so when you see the fake crocodile tears on here, don't be fooled by it.
Aren't like you in a game. You know, I want you to know that that game is still for you. You know, if the characters are a different race, or a different gender, or a different, you know, ideology, or a different perspective, that, you know, that doesn't mean that the game isn't for you. It can still be for you. You know, it's an opportunity to live in rich new worlds, to explore different perspectives, you know, to explore, you know, different cultures. Like, and all the while, you're playing a decent game.
I just farted.
These games are opportunities to experience something different, something new.
I don't think this guy's actually played video games for as long as I have, because yes, I've played many old school games with different ideologies. Even Fallout 3 has a trans character, or maybe characters in there, and I've not played that game fully, but it wouldn't bother me if they were, because I wouldn't really be aware of it. But again, what Boubacar is actually missing the point of, a lot of games these days, nobody is invested in them, because you're about to buy it and then suddenly you realize, oh no, Sweet Baby Inc. have been involved. I want to pull away because there was a white character who we were kind of interested in. Now you've made her black. I mean, does this guy even defend God of War Ragnarok for what they did to that? How they desecrated certain characters in there?
You just need to be open to it.
No, that's why I've got my old video game collection from PlayStation 3, 4, and obviously a couple for 5, and my Xbox series as well. I've got tons for the Xbox.
Games are a medium unlike any other. And, you know, in all aspects, they have this potential to have this profound impact on not only the people who make them, but who play them. I really believe games are for everyone. I mean, that's why I insisted.
So then why do you sit there making out that they're not for everyone? Because you're insisting that they are, but anybody who's played a video game knows they're for anyone. That's the whole point of video games. Anybody can pick them up. If it's a side scroller and it's not your cup of tea, try a different type of game. That's all you got to do. You can pick and choose.
On setting Zau's cost at the price of a pizza. So, look, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is.
Up your ass?
So starting today on Switch, shout out to Nintendo for acting fast on this. You know, I'm lowering that bar of entry further by dropping the price of Zau to less than $15.
So that's your punchline, ladies and gentlemen. It's not really the, tears of heartbreak. Oh, you're not buying our game because it's got a diverse character in there. No, what it is, no one's talking about Tales of Kenzera anymore. It's to do with the fact that it's not been selling very well, but because he's the creative director, he's dropping the sale price just to push sales a bit further, so people might be a bit curious. That's what this is all about. We've got this character here that nobody seems to resonate towards. And again, I have said this many times. Who are my favorite video game characters? Nathan Drake, Chris Redfield, his sister Claire, Jill Valentine. Oh God, Jill, geez, smother me now with your boobs. Your boobs of glory. Oh my God.
No, I genuinely believe in the power that games have to bring us close together. And I believe that, this...
As opposed to making us come together.
Is just one way that I can show you how serious I am about this. Like, games are for everyone. Like diverse games, then they're not about taking something away from you.
But they do take away something from us. It's called immersion, dude. They take away my immersion from enjoying the game because somebody like Sweet Baby Inc. has come on in there and they've infiltrated what that game could have been. I mean, who plays Spider-Man 2 here? Probably quite a few of you, actually. Me, wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot barge pole. Why? Because I want to play as Peter Parker, not as the knockoff version, Miles Morales.
They're about adding something in. Because there's room for all of us. Now look, I'm working with the team in bringing this discount to... And it's going to start from now to the end of June, because
which is the end of Pride Month. Can't imagine why.
No, it just means so much to me, man. And look, let me just take this opportunity as well to actually speak to the developers out there that have actually dedicated themselves to making games that speak to different audiences and tell personal.
It's funny that it's nearly 5 minutes in the video. And he's saving the last, 32 seconds to thank the developers. It's like Christopher Judge when he won his award for Kratos 2 years ago. I mean, the guy spent 8 or 15 minutes on stage. Like, I congratulate myself and I congratulate myself and I'm a great actor. And he was good in Stargate. I'm not taking that away from him. He was fantastic in that series.
Stories that uplift the marginalized and underrepresented.
The marginalized and the underrepresented people, folks. I have a funny feeling people like Mrs. Abubakar Salim works hand in hand with consultancy companies who want to push that message. I'm pretty certain they do. There's like this, it's almost like a Masonic handshake, like, yeah, you do this for us, we'll do this for you. Scratch your back, scratch my mentality. I prefer tit for tat, but you know where we're going to go with that one.
No, your work is so important today. And whether you realize it or not, you are actually setting an example for the next generation of developers, of creators, of artists. Just take that in. Keep doing what you're doing. Thank you.
Wow, that was an Oscar-winning speech, Mr. Salim. Wow, give this guy a round of applause. Probably the best acting performance he's ever given, actually. I've not seen his body of work. I haven't seen Raised by Wolves. I've heard that is a very good TV series, courtesy of Ridley Scott, who these days seems to be towing the line very slightly by making his films a bit more diverse because he's probably been told to do so, when again, I've seen no fundamental problem in all of that. But of course, during my reaction, folks, you saw me flashing a very naughty title called Wolfenstein by Bethesda. It's Software. This is a very good game. And of course, the cover would probably, send shivers down your spine. But obviously, who are the bad guys in the game? It's the Nazis. And you kill them and it's great and it's wonderful. But it's a fun game. They even dropped the C-bomb in it once or twice, which I thought was hilarious. And look, I've got this as well. Isn't that fantastic? Burnout Paradise, great game, fantastic soundtrack. And one of my friends actually has a credit at the end, which is, good for him for doing that. But honestly, according to what Mrs. Salim is saying here, these games, they need diverse characterization. I mean, can you imagine if they did a remake of this particular title, that they'll probably start putting a character creator screen, and you can choose a white or a black or whatever, it's it's hard push from people like Salim who claim they're being marginalized. He's got a freaking job in acting. There are a lot of people out there he's gotten to the front of the queue of, and he's been in some high or continues to be in high profile TV shows. But according to him, oh no, it's not enough. I can't make an independent video game without getting called a racist. You know what my theory is about this gentleman right here? I need to go back here because I'm getting really effing pissed off with all this dog shit I keep saying now. I think what this guy's done, okay, he's shown no proof of the harassment he's been receiving. And I've said it before in my quote tweet, actually, that what he's probably done is set up multiple email accounts, sent himself hateful, hurtful comments and says, look guys, I'm being targeted. I'm getting harassment everywhere. It's like Ingram Moses or Moses Ingram from Obi-Wan, that failed Disney TV show 2 years ago. She claimed the same thing as well, yet couldn't show 1 ounce of proof that she was being targeted. Even Ewan McGregor did a video where he was driving in the car and saying, yeah, you gotta leave her alone. You know, this is not what should be happening.
This weekend, Star Wars fans made Obi-Wan Kenobi the most watched Disney Plus original series premiere of all time. And for that, I would say a big thank you. And it just goes to show what this family can do when we all pull together. However...
Uh-oh. I think I heard a toilet flush. Maybe somebody lost a turtle.
It seems that some of the fan base from this influential fan base have decided to attack Moses Ingram online and send her the most horrendous racist DMs. And I heard some of them this morning and it just broke my heart.
I'm getting sick and fed up. I'm just fed up. I'm sick and tired of seeing this diatribe. It's funny as hell, by the way, because it gives me a chance to make content about it. And you know what? I'll say about 3 years ago, when I started my channel, I thought people wanted to see good reviews. And the truth of the matter is, people don't really want to see a good review. They want to see something a bad product out there. If you write something bad about it or is actually good, but you find some nitpicks about it, they're more drawn to that than, wow, it's good. Because like when every Marvel film was being released before 2019, except for Captain Marvel, we know that was a pile of dog shit anyway, that, you know, there was a level of expectation. It was going to be like an 8 or a 9 out of 10, you know, to that level. And now, when a new film comes out, like Mad Maxine Furiosa, which didn't do particularly well, and I can't imagine why, I don't know, skinny, bug-eyed woman who thinks she's a tower of strength? Nah, not at all, no. I want to see an elderly Mel Gibson actually take that throne again. He'll be an absolute hit. Mel Gibson was cast as he is now, and he's still in good shape as Mad Max in The Return. Like Mad Max The Return. People will be queuing around the block for that film, man. But no, they don't want to see some skinny chick who can barely lift a gun and telling us that she is the new Mad Max thing. Oh my God. So on that one, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this video today, leave a like below, smash that subscribe button, and if I were you, and if you were me, you better go play some old school video games. Until the next time I see you.
Games are for everyone.
Well, you can cry.